Good morning. How are you all today? Happy Monday, the start of another week, start of hopefully another productive, positive week, right? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. Let me get you or me straightened out there so that I don't look like I'm sitting on a hill and talk a little bit about truth, lies, and everything else. Mark Harrison, let me start this way. Are you making the best decisions you can for your life and for preparedness? And the two should go together, right? Um, and and what do you base your decisions on? What you hear, what you know. Now, those two things are a lot different, right? A lot of people base their decisions on what they hear, but maybe it's the truth, maybe it's not, and that's what makes all the difference. I've talked before about preparedness being responsibility, and we are each responsible for ascertaining the truth or the falsehood of the things that we hear. That makes a big difference in your life and your preparedness. I got a Mark Harrison over on the Patreon channel. And if you're not with us on Patreon, why not? Why are you waiting? There is so much over on the Patreon channel that you would learn from and love and everything. The links down below cost you $1 a month. We'd love to have you. But Mark Harrison over there, who's a friend of mine also, sent me he texted me a link to a video by Victor Davis Hanson. Many of you are, I'm sure, familiar with him. If you're not, you should be. And the title of his video was "You're Being Lied To." So I'm going to steal his title and probably title this one "You're Being Lied To," and it's going to have dramatic effects on your success or failure in your preparedness or your life, depending on whether you believe the lies. Now, what are you being lied to about? Well, pretty much everything, right? whoever wants to sway you in the direction of their particular pet position or project is going to tell you what they want you to hear and what they want you to believe in order to get you on their side. I have seen a lot. Well, let me back up just a moment. Years and years ago, and I've talked about this, the preparedness YouTube world had more people on it talking about actual preparedness. Whether that was, the technical stuff like how to start a fire, how to grow a potato, how to do this, how to build a lean-to, how to, whatever like that, or mindset channels more like mine. How you need to think, how you need to prepare, what you need to be aware of, and how to mentally position yourself to be able to deal with it. More and more over the years, it has devolved away from that, away from practical application, to be, well, what's rightfully called fear porn. Every day it's a new thing to be afraid of. It's a new thing to just be terrified. Oh my gosh, this day is this, and that day it's that, and everything. And it gets a lot of views, and that's why they do it. They make money off of it. But one of the things that is one of the most repeated catastrophes is economic catastrophes. It could be the crash of the dollar, so they want you to buy gold. It could be the crash of the government. It could be the New World Order, the globalists, the WEF. I'm not really making light of those last few. They are very real, and I'm going to be making another video in a little while having to do with the coming slavery that you should be concerned about. Or it could be the latest thing is the tariffs, right? The tariffs. I don't know how many, and I've been bouncing around a lot more than I ever have before, just viewing in many cases the titles of different videos on YouTube here. and mainly, some financial channels, but mostly preparedness channels or prepper channels. And some of them I've watched a little bit of. Some, I think probably a couple I've watched the whole thing just because I didn't want to be, unduly negative about them. But this idea of the tariffs as being, a large problem going to crash the economy is one of the latest songs they're singing, right? Tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. It's going to be bad. Well, I'm not going to try to give an economics lesson here, but it's amazing to me, and I will, when I put this one up on the Patreon channel, because when I put a video up on YouTube, I also put it on Patreon, and then over there I put up links to different things that I want the patrons to be able to see. And I'm going to put the link to Victor Davis Hanson's video so that those of you on Patreon can watch the whole thing. I'm also going to put up a chart over there about our recent tariffs that if you haven't seen the chart that Trump held up the other day, it's good for you to see it so you understand exactly what's going on. But the problem is the emotional response of so many Americans, so many people worldwide, to be honest. Americans aren't that different. I know that, well, there are ways that Americans are different, but they're no more gullible than anybody else. They're no more, what am I trying to say here? I don't know. The word is escaping me, but we're just not all that different. The people who complain, for instance, about Walmart's killing the small towns in America, those same people are the ones filling up Walmarts. So it's one of those things. Well, yeah, I don't like the fact that stuff comes from China, but I can get a microwave cheaper, I can get a this cheaper, I can get a that cheaper, so I'm just going to do it. Well, this is the kind of attitude that fails to understand the bottom line. Here again, I'm not going to get into the economic weeds, because really it's up to you to learn it. You need to be the one who knows it. Okay, don't take it from Uncle Steve, and certainly don't take it from all these other channels that don't know what they're talking about and they're just trying to scare you. Okay, my point is this: and I don't know what other channels you watch. There are some very good ones out there, and then there are some that aren't. Most of the really good ones are about gardening. You know that? And you might have noticed that I put up a couple of gardening tip. I guess that's been on Patreon too. Again, if you're not on Patreon, the link's down below. See all these things that I keep thinking about I'm putting on Patreon. You're missing those things if you're not on Patreon and just on YouTube. Although I love having you on YouTube. What's going to be the effects of the tariffs? It may or may not be what you think, or they may or may not be what you think. And what you think depends on what you've heard or what you know. Okay? And here again, like I said the same thing earlier. What you hear is different than what you know. Okay? If you hear something, then you think you know something, but if you don't know it as the result of your own understanding, you don't know it. And that means that any decision you make is going to be compromised. Okay? You're not going to make the best decisions in life or in preparedness if you don't understand the subject. Okay? If you go out and you've heard that you can rub two sticks together to start a fire, but you don't really understand the principles of it, and you need to start a fire, and you go out there and you find a couple of sticks on the ground and you start rubbing them together, and you're disappointed because you don't get fire. See, that's the same kind of thing. You believe what people are telling you, not you, because you're smart. But like I said, the guy behind you, peeking over your shoulder, the guy who believes all this crap that's being spilled on in the news, and in many cases the news aggregators, certainly the legacy media that is wanting to slam Trump, slam tariffs, slam all of these things. If that's what you listen to, and you don't know any better because you haven't studied it yourself, you're setting yourself up for, first off, disappointment, secondly, depression probably, and third, failure. You are responsible. This is the preparedness lesson of today for the guy who says, you didn't tell us anything. I've been telling you things ever since we started here. You are responsible for knowing the truth. But how can we find the truth? Find the truth. Learn the basics of a situation. If you don't know the basics of a situation, how do you know whether the things you hear about more advanced things are true? You don't know whether they violate the basics of the field. Now, I was just telling my kids this last night in church. A person who doesn't know the Bible will believe anything that just somebody comes and spouts off about it. They don't know whether it's right or wrong. Somebody says, the Bible says, or this or that. Oh, okay. I said, it's very, very, very dangerous. There's a lot of people out there saying things that just aren't right regarding that too. But you are responsible for what you know. And when you study it, then you know. Why would you not want to know about the best way to create your own wealth, to protect yourself against what may be coming? Tariffs might cause a downturn in, whatever. Everybody's calling today Black Monday. They expect the markets to crash, everything to crash. All the people who love gold are just in a tizzy about. They're so happy that Bitcoin is crashing. Really? See, they don't have a grasp on how it all works together. But you need to. Excuse me, just a second. So realize that just because someone else is afraid of something doesn't mean that you should be afraid of it. They may not know why they're afraid of it. They may not know what they're talking about. Very often that's the case. Just because somebody tells you to be afraid of something also doesn't mean that you should be afraid of it. They have a reason for wanting you to be afraid of something. Okay? And finally, realize that people who are afraid of something themselves, who don't understand the thing that they're afraid of, are not going to give you good advice or information. There are so many people out there, they talk, they've never run a business. They don't have any understanding of global economics. They don't have any understanding. They can read an article here or there and sound pretty smart. They can throw off things like Smoot-Hartley and things like that, makes them sound like they know what they're talking about. You have to be able to determine whether they know what they're talking about, but you have to know the information. Okay. Remember, I said the other day, excuse me, information is not power. It's the application of information that's power. So information that you have, good information, not just stuff that you heard, good information, properly applied, is power. Now, what's coming up right now may be a time of great opportunities. If the market does, I'm not going to say it's not going to crash. If it corrects, if it goes down a good percentage, that's the time to buy. Investors are always looking for these times. I haven't bought stock in a long time, but I'm looking at it now. If it goes down, I'm going to buy more. Bitcoin, it's going down, 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 down. You know what? That's an opportunity to buy. Because Bitcoin's not going anywhere, guys. It's here. And it is too fully entrenched in economic systems to go anywhere. That's just the way it is. Just the way it is. And gold's going way up. Well, it lost a bunch, but the people who are all happy about Bitcoin and the stock market going down forgot to tell you that gold took a dive, right? They didn't tell you that, did they? But you can find this stuff out yourself. But gold is very high. You're going to buy gold when it's high? First rule of investing: buy low, sell high. Okay, I'm not going to go down that economic road anymore. But the point is here, you're being lied to. And people who lie to you don't have your best interest. They have their best interest at stake, right? Whether it's to sell you something or to get you to believe them or get you to follow them or whatever. Or sometimes they just lie because they're not doing very well. And people who aren't doing very well love other people to be right down there with them. You don't want to be down there with them. You want to be doing better every day because you want to be building your life and building your preparedness, building the future for your kids and your grandkids. In one of the speeches that Jim Wyatt gives in, I think, my second book, he says, we must build the world we want our children to live in. And you don't do that out of fear. You do that from a good, strong knowledge base, determination, and resilience. Speaking of my books, before I let you go, you want the whole plan. You want a positive plan on how to deal with everything. Whether it's a total collapse of the economic system like they're trying to scare you about, or the total collapse of the world is going to happen. It will happen. Everything will crash someday. And the scientists tell us it's not that far off before we get hit by an earth-killing CME. That's what I prepare for. That's what you should prepare for. But I wrote a whole series of books about this. It's called the Stonemont series. Did you know I wrote those? Well, you newer people probably didn't. Everybody who's been with me for a while here, probably most of them have read it. It's a complete series of what I call the complete plan for preparing for, surviving, and rebuilding after a total collapse of everything. It's the story of a family who was prepared, and as a result of their preparedness, were not only able to keep living a good quality life after the grid and everything else went down, but we're able to help other people. It's the reversion, the revival, the renewal, an appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, hostages to fortune, the latest one on wings like eagles. And people tell me it's the best series in post-apocalyptic SHTF, Teotihuacan. By the way, it's Teotihuacan, not Teotihuacan, that they've ever read. And some people have read through the whole thing 5 times. And I think you'd like it. Plus, you'll learn a lot. You can get them through Amazon. The link is down below. Or the better way to get them from me. And I should say Amazon, you can get them paperback, Kindle, or Audible. You can't get the 7th book in Audible yet. We're working on it. Or you can get the better way, which is directly from me through our website, stonemont.us. And when you do that, that link is also down below. When you do it that way, I get to sign them for you, write a little note in there to you. And we give you a discount because when we ship them as a set, you can buy the whole set, which you cannot do through Amazon. We save money on package and handling and postage and everything like that. So we pass that on to you. And then we also throw in the Stonemont notebook for you at no charge to you. And you'll love this too. So realize, guys, people are lying to you all over the place. The news lies to you. Other people who are trying to help lie to you because, and maybe I wouldn't call it a lie in their case. They just don't know what they're talking about. So it's a mistake, okay? They're not purposely lying, but they are telling you wrong information as a result of them not having the right information. Simple as that. Maybe they're trying to help. I have no idea. But don't you get caught up in it. You need to be responsible for understanding how things work And I think a lot of people shy away from it because it just seems complicated. Oh, economics and all this. It's not that difficult. Okay. And like I say, most of these people who are telling you this stuff, they've never run a business. I've run a lot of businesses. And as a result, they're not going to be able to give you the overall picture and try to help you what to do. Now, I should throw this in. How do you prepare yourself, and how do you protect against this? If the economy goes down, have a business. Have a business, or more than one business. Have several businesses. Have multiple streams of income. Have businesses that you can adjust, and also that you can use for tax purposes. Okay, if you don't have your taxes under control, you're never going to get your money under control. And small businesses help you get your taxes under control. I'm not going to get into it here. Find yourself a good accountant, and your life will change. I guarantee you. But having a business and building a business is the number one way to protect yourself against whatever economic challenge may be coming. Okay. And a lot of people are afraid to do that. But I'll tell you, you will learn more than you can imagine. And you will set yourself in a position that you are no longer at the mercy of whatever's going on with the greater economy. Somebody will say right here, but your business would go down too. My business has never gone down during bad times. Okay, there are ways to do that. I'm not going to explain it here. Just believe me or not, get out there and do something. Take control of your life. Don't be controlled by the whirlwinds that are around you. Okay, you need to be in control of your life. So anyway, that's about it. Think about this. Don't be afraid of what's going on. Don't have a one-sided viewpoint of these things. Watch the news. Watch balanced coverage of the news. Study this stuff yourself. I really suggest that you, if you're not with us on Patreon, those of you who are on Patreon, you'll be able to see this. Watch Victor Davis Hansen's video on tariffs. It'll clear it up for you. Thank you, Mark, for sending me that. If you're not with us on Patreon, do yourself a favor for your life and your preparedness and join us over there. Links down below. Cost you $1 a month. A whole $1 a month to get so much that's going to help you. And you know what that tells me? Somebody that won't invest $1 in themselves, okay, if you're not investing it in me, I don't need your $1. But I use that as kind of a gatekeeper. Believe it or not, it keeps out the troublemakers. You need to be there. Okay? All right. You all have a good day. Remember, you want the next step up? The Stonemont series, get them today while they're hot. You will love the story, and you will learn more than you can imagine. And remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.